How to help people. A talk with Unmani.
Well, it would seem simple, perhaps, how to help people, but often it's not as simple as we think because we have all these identities that can come in seemingly doing the helping, taking charge of the helping and saying, I'm doing it. I'm the special helper or carer. And without me, the person I'm helping wouldn't manage, wouldn't survive, wouldn't be okay. I'm so valuable and important that they need me. And this is the common story or some version of that. Of course, it might be different in your experience. That can come in when we are asked for help or we see that there is help needed or we feel moved in some way, genuinely to help, but still that identity can come in. And it seems to be from our social conditioning that, and perhaps even religious conditioning, that we should be saintly and always self-sacrificing for others, and to help others makes us a good person and worthy of love and attention, approval, respect. So we are often doing the helping so that we can get something out of it. Yeah, so it looks like we're helping the other, but often we're really just doing it so that we will get what we want, or what we think we want or need from apparently outside of us. And then the help, although you may be going through the motions of and actually doing some practical good help for the other in need, it comes with, in a way, a bit of a yucky taste somehow, a bit of a sticky flavor to it, that the one that you're helping can often feel, even if it's not actually consciously, they pick up that you're not 100% there. So it's not a real lean way of helping. So then how can we be more genuine? How can we be more clean with this help? Well, I feel that it starts with really admitting these identities, acknowledging what plays out for you. And maybe at first you need to exaggerate that identity to really be clear about it, so that it even becomes, in a way, a caricature of itself. It becomes so ridiculous and so obvious that you can't overlook it anymore. You can't pretend that it's not playing out. Because often these identities are playing out, but we don't want to acknowledge them because perhaps we're ashamed, or we don't want to lose this special, important position that it seems to be giving us. But if we're really in love with the truth and we want to really wake up and be free from these identities, then it's about acknowledging what is really going on for us when we're in that helping role? What are we trying to get out of it? What does it give me? What am I afraid of feeling when I help somebody? Because sometimes we are afraid that we will actually feel the discomfort or the pain or the fear that the one who needs help might. For example, if someone is crying, the usual tendency for, I would say, most people is to quickly get a tissue and hand it to them. Here, take a tissue. In other words, here, shut up, stop crying because you're making me feel uncomfortable. And it looks like you're being helpful. Yeah, maybe they do need a tissue if their nose is running or whatever, yes, but it's often coming just a little bit too quick. And if we're honest, it's about our own discomfort. So, can we be with that person, their pain, without moving to shut them up? You know, whether it's with handing them a tissue or whether it's with quickly coming and giving them a hug or coming with some advice or trying to solve their problem. It's never really about them, it's about you and how uncomfortable it feels to really be with the other in pain. And if people genuinely do need help, then how can we be helpful and really be with them while at the same time staying sensitive to any boundary where we may cross over into a kind of smothering, over caring, overprotective way of helping into an identity where you start to, where it starts to be a power game in a way. So then you become the one that is really needed. You're in the position of power, and then the one who you're helping is the poor thing. It needs it. They need your help. They're somehow less. And by continuing to help them, perhaps you're reinforcing this identity in them and in yourself, which often is not helpful at all for either one of you. So first of all, we need to get really clear about these kinds of dynamics and really admit these things to ourselves, admit what we're afraid of, what we're ashamed of, what we're getting out of it. And then perhaps admit to ourselves, well, maybe I don't know how to help. I don't know if I should help. I don't know if the other even needs my help. Because sometimes it looks like someone needs help, but maybe actually your help will be somehow degrading their self-respect. You never know. So somehow it's we have to be really sensitive to this helping, staying really in that not knowing how or if or when or what to do. And in that space of not knowing, maybe it feels uncomfortable and we have to feel whatever comes up for us. But in that, then we can really be with the other and stay really sensitive and open to what is needed in that moment. We can then openly and genuinely respond moment to moment, without coming from any identity or any concept or belief of what is good or bad or anything like that. No power game, or we're just meeting what is here right now. Always walking that line of not falling on either side uh, of any identity. It's really a razor's edge because it's about staying very sensitive to what you feel and the other, of course, as well. But it is all happening in you. And even when you're actually going through the motions of actually helping someone, you can notice at any point when some kind of subtle or perhaps not so subtle identity starts to creep in and take over. And at that point, if you can bring the attention to the sensation that is happening in your body, how does it feel when you start to believe that I'm a helper, or look at me, I'm such a good carer, or whatever the story is? But when you believe that, what happens in your body? And there's no right or wrong with it. It's just about acknowledging it, not trying to get rid of it. I'm not saying that this helper identity is wrong. It's just that it's not true. You are not a separate identity. You are not the helper. You are not the one in control of life and the one to decide when help is needed. So, in seeing these separate identities as they arise, we wake up out of those dreams. And at first, it can be challenging, but at the same time, it can also be a relief and very freeing if you don't have to be the one to carry the heavy burden or responsibility of always helping or caring. If you're just responding moment to moment, it doesn't mean you don't help, but you're helping when life moves you to help. If you can really surrender to that, then actually it's a real relief to let down, to let go of this heavy burden, responsibility that you've been carrying. At first, maybe it can feel a little bit naughty in a way. Like, can you really be uncaring? It can feel like uncaring, or like you'll be a bad person if you don't help. So we have to face that first, face that possibility of being bad or wrong or naughty or whatever the belief might be, and feel the fear or the shame that might come up with that. But at the same time, the freedom. Then you are also then freed up to really help, to really be a tool for life, to use you to help. Not when you think that you should help,